You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
This is sports talk for the people.
Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook to stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktail Series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, get ready to ride raw with the Doug Stewart Show.
This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Yes! We're doing some huge things here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the Doug Stewart Show, and the biggest thing being broadcasting other shows. That's right, we're executive producing other shows and playing them on my network. You may have a fantastic show or podcast, but do you have listeners? We got listeners. Over 9,000 followers to the Doug Stewart Show on the Spreaker platform, as well as over 200,000 plus listens to the network itself. So here's what you do. Go to Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, and search the Doug Stewart Show or Stewart Media and Entertainment and get all the details. Or just hit up the producer, Tree at TheDougStewartShow.com. That's spelled Trei. Tree at TheDougStewartShow.com, and come and do business with us on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW. Hey, wait, get your hands off that dial. Now, today's show isn't live, but it's kind of live. As a matter of fact, it's very live. Yes! This is a rebroadcast of the Doug Stewart Show. Don't turn the dial. Stay here. Yeah, the Doug Stewart Show.
Doctor, this is the mayor talking.
All right.
Doctor,
Come on, what?
always do the right thing.
If you came here to hear for fake, you are in the wrong place. We are for real around here. We keeps it real. This is the Doug Stewart Show, the livest, the realest, the trillest sports talk show in America. Are you not entertained? This is Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, the Doug Stewart Show. Yes! Game time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's game time. It's game time. What's happening? Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Lord, have mercy. And oh boy, I got a lot to talk about today, man. Ooh. Bring that beat back one more time, though, for me. We got to get that beat coming back one more time on a Monday after everything that went on this past weekend. Yes, sir. Man Talk Monday. Ballers, busters, game balls, and ghosts. All of that type of stuff, man. Thank you for tuning in to the Doug Stewart Show. We're back. Ready to roll. Get ready to roll. Get ready to roll. You see the title of the show, your boy is back and ready to roll. Obviously, you know about homecoming weekend this past weekend. at South Carolina State University, my university. I've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. And your boy, he made it. He survived. If you're an old school Stu listener, if you're a Stewie. So I've been talking about that, man. Went out. When did I go out? Thursday evening. Did the show Thursday. Went to Orangeburg, South Carolina on Friday. Party out of control. Made it back to Atlanta. Made it back to Atlanta on Saturday morning. And some of you, if you follow me, I've been told not to talk about it too much into detail, but if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you saw how I got back to Atlanta. I did it real Big Wooly style. Yes! Yeah. I'm a pro. So made it back to Atlanta, man. Did the show on Saturday with the 2 Live Stews on 640 WGST as well as iHeartRadio at 11 a.m. That's every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Then actually, the same way I got there, I got back to Orangeburg, South Carolina, tailgated my ass off. Party like it was 1999 that Saturday night at the Unity Party, which was a big success. And then I came back yesterday. I took my daughter with me to homecoming. So I had to actually take her back to West Georgia yesterday as well. So a long, long weekend, man. But I've been keeping my eye on the sports. Obviously, I didn't see a ton of stuff live. But definitely took a look at went down this weekend. And so you know what we do on Mondays, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We talk about ballers and busters. Some people call them game balls and ghosts, but we call them ballers and busters from this weekend. Basically, your superlatives. Speaking of which, Baller Award to the Kansas City Royals. As they win the World Series 4-1, beating the New York Mets 7-2 yesterday in New York. Baller Award to Ned Yost, the manager. Baller Award to, what's the guy's name? Perez. The catcher for the Royals that was named the MVP of the series. And that's their first World Series championship since 1985. I think it says 30 years, 85, 95, 2. Yeah, that's right, 1985. So congratulations to the Kansas City Royals. I guess it's only proper they get the first Ball Award of the day after winning the World Series. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Jameis Winston balling out of control, kind of, sort of. The Falcons kind of coming back to life, back to reality. I'm going to give you my opinions on the Duke versus Miami game that ended in huge controversy. I'll talk about that. What the hell happened in New Orleans yesterday? What the hell happened in New Orleans? Yeah, and a couple of tough injuries this weekend in the world of the NFL. More accusations of cheating, kind of, sort of, against the New England Patriots. We'll talk about that. A lot of NFL action, a lot of college football action, as well as a lot of basketball action in the National Basketball Association. So we'll talk about that today as well. It's just too much. It's just too much to even get to, man. It's just too much to even get to, but we're going to do our best, man, in these 2 hours. Hey, if you're new to the show, the best way to reach out to the show and to be interactive is just to hit me up in the chat room on Spreaker.com. So go to Spreaker, hit the little follow button. So when you follow the show, whenever there's a show that goes live on the network, on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, you'll get an alert saying, hey, man, the show's live. There's a show live on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. So follow the show and then hit the little chat bubble and jump into the chat room with the greatest chat room in the history of sports talk and guy talk radio. Yes, sir. I call its inhabitants the Stewies, and I call it the fantasy island of sports and guy chat, right here on the Doug Stewart Show. All right, now I mentioned the chat, but you can also call the show old school style, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You can call the show old school style at 404-382-0338. Once again, that's 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedougsstewart.com. DougStewartShow.com. We take a lot of phone calls. I read a lot of your chat, okay? We technically don't take a lot of phone calls. We get phone calls every once in a while, but because of this platform and this format, we read a lot of chat. A lot of you are sitting at your desk at work in your cubicle or whatever, and your boss is on your back, so you can't really call. So the chat is big, but you can call if you like at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. And there's just a bunch of ways to be totally interactive. And this is the most interactive show in America. We read, talk about birthdays. Every once in a while, we'll do top fives. And if you're new to the show, man, a bonus added feature to the Doug Stewart Show is every once in a while I'll sing for your ass. That's right. Yes, sir. Maybe what I'll do today, I'm not prepared to sing for you today, man. Obviously, my voice is really, really on the ledge as far as not being able to really talk a lot because of everything I did this past weekend. So I'm not going to sing something for you today live, but maybe I'll pull out one of my classic hits. I tell you what, if you're in the chat room and you're an old school TDSS listener, the Doug Stewart Show listener, and you've heard all my classics, just put in a request and tell me which one you want me to pull up, man, and I'll play it for y'all, man. Shut up! You haters! Studio audience, man, we got to vet our studio audience more, better, because every once in a while we get a couple people in the studio audience. We get a live studio audience every day that comes in the studio and helps give a little atmosphere to the show. And once in a while, man, we don't vet these people properly. I said you people, shut up. We're not going to let you back in here anymore if you're going to act like that. But sometimes we get these people in there, man, and they just freaking haters, They don't understand a good thing until they lose it. Now, what if I couldn't sing anymore? Then what? Then what you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do then? Shut up! But yeah, make a request. One of my classics. I had so many. And I'll play one of those for you today. All right. When we get back from the break, man, I want to talk a little bit of Falcons. We are based in Atlanta. If you're listening somewhere else, abroad or whatever, if you're in Europe or something like that, we are based in Atlanta, so there's a little Atlanta flair touch to the show every once in a while. Falcons lose a tough one on yesterday, man. I want to talk about that, get your thoughts on that. Are they coming back to life, back to reality? And on the flip side, man, Jameis Winston, I don't know if you noticed, but they've been kind of doing good lately. We'll talk about that and more. Get your ballers and your busters right here on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! We're doing some huge things here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the Doug Stewart Show, and the biggest thing being broadcasting other shows. That's right, we're executive producing other shows and playing them on my network. You may have a fantastic show or podcast, but do you have listeners? We got listeners, over 9,000 followers to the Doug Stewart Show on the Spreaker platform, as well as over 200,000 plus listens to the network itself. So here's what you do. Go to Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, and search the Doug Stewart Show or Stewart Media and Entertainment and get all the details. Or just hit up the producer, Tree, at TreeAtTheDougStewartShow.com. That's spelled Trei. Tree at TheDougStewartShow.com, and come and do business with us on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
WELOVE
108
FM.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday, November 2nd, 2015. Speaking of November, if you didn't know, your boy got a birthday coming up, dog. That's right. My birthday is coming up in a couple of days, November 6th, 1969. I think the math says I'm going to be what? Yeah, hold on a second. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and you carry the one, and then I think I'm going to be 46 years old in a couple of days. I'm closer to 50 than 40. Lord, have mercy. Speaking of which, the following Monday, the next coming Monday and Tuesday maybe, we may be out because I think that the old lady scheduled like a trip or something somewhere, and so we may not. And I'll tell you more definitively today. I should have talked about it with her before I even got on air today. But I think she's planning a trip, and so we might go away for a couple of days, man. I haven't been on vacation in forever. I take like one day, trips or little excursions or whatever like I did this past weekend, and usually so on the weekend. I don't know if you know it, but your boy ain't had a check come in for a couple of years. So I try to monitor that type of stuff. But the old lady says, you turning 46. I mean, you the man. I mean, I love you to death, and you're a great dude, a great father and all like that. I mean, you're a great person. So I'm going to treat you to a little vacay. So Monday next week for sure. I'm not sure, maybe Tuesday as well. You'll hear the best of the Doug Stewart Show, man. But my birthday is coming up. Praise God. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. And this past weekend, I really realized, and it happens a lot, the older you get, it happens more and more and more. And, I posted a picture a couple of days ago on my Facebook and my Instagram of a big box of Boo Berry. You remember Boo Berry, Count Chocula, Frankenberry. I eat cereal. I do a lot of stuff that a young person would do. So I'm kind of young at heart. But this past weekend, man, oh, boy, Friday night, man, I really, really went for it. I really went for it Friday night, man. But, once again, you got to drink your water. That's something I learned as an adult. I drank my water, and I was, up early on Saturday morning prepping for the show and getting my stuff together. And just like I told y'all before I left, I'm a true professional. If you didn't know it, if you didn't know that I had consumed about 2 pints of liquor the night before, you would have never guessed. Yes, Tree. Good morning, Tree.
Good morning.
The producer to the Doug Stewart Show. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and say something. I knew you were going to say something funny. Go ahead. What?
Yeah, you wouldn't have known it. Now, who was, I'm trying to save something really important that I need to tell you, but you go ahead and keep patting yourself on the back about how professional you are. Go ahead.
Oh, I am. I am. I came in Saturday morning, did that show. There's a little backstory how I got there and all like that. Just like I said, people that follow me on Facebook and Instagram, they kind of saw what it is. I mean, we did it real Big Willie style. Came in, knocked that show out, no problems at all.
Mm-hmm. And were you on the board? Because you told me that you didn't need me this week. So.
Well, Tree, now listen.
Actually,
about
I
that.
got pissed off
about
because
that.
I didn't know if you were coming or not.
Well, Tree, about that, that's Ryan. And now Ryan, once again, Ryan is that type of guy. He said some things about Tree on the show Saturday. It was totally uncalled for. But you know Ryan is a line stepper. He's a line stepper.
Ryan was there before you got there, and I'm going to let you keep talking.
So,
it was a great show.
Thank you. So, I mean, Ryan says these little things when Tree's not there, and he kind of needles her. He shouldn't do that. I don't know why he does it. But he's a line stepper. Tree doesn't really know his history, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. For the Stewies and for the dogs and poodles that used to listen to the Two Live Stews, they know that Ryan is a habitual line stepper. Okay, and I guess he thinks it's funny, so he says some little snide comments about Tree not being there, and I didn't think it was cute. And Tree does a lot around here. Speaking of which, I want to put this out there right now, too, and Tree, you didn't even know I was going to do this. But we need some interns. We need a little bit of help, okay, with the Doug Stewart Show because we are really getting big. I mean, this thing is really getting big around here. Praise his holy name. So, if you got a kid, and we're talking a young person, if you got a young person that's, you know, a communications major or something like that, and they need their first little dabble in the radio, in the industry, something they can put on their resume, we are offering an intern position, maybe 2 intern positions to work with the Doug Stewart Show. And so you're not going to be doing a ton of stuff. It's, once again, you're going to get your feet wet. And we'll have, like, some small things for you to do. And the big thing about that is you can learn from some people, in particular myself, that have been in this industry for 15 years and have done big, big things in this industry, okay? So you'll get some advice, some consulting, a person that you can come and talk to about the industry. Tree as well has been in the industry for many, many years. So we're looking for interns. If you have a child or a college-age student that wants to intern with the Doug Stewart Show, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will see if we can make it work out, okay? All right, so Falcons and Bucks this weekend. I listened to this game on the radio on the way back, on my phone, on the internet. And tough loss for the Falcons, man. Falcons go to 6-2. Tampa Bay, though, a great win for them. They almost gave up the cookies kind of like they did the week before. They got to address that because, remember, they lost last week. They were up by 24 points to the Washington Redskins, and the Skins came back to win that game. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So it's something about that they got to figure. But the Falcons, though, man, Matt Ryan, 37 for 45, really, you know, as far as statistical-wise, Matt Ryan played a great game. At one point, he was like, I want to say like 35 for 40. Finished up the day with 37 for 45, 397 yards, 2 touchdowns, the one costly interception, which I saw the replay later. The interception was just bad, and Matt Ryan does that. Like 1 second, he'll look like freaking Joe Montana, and then the next second, he'll look like freaking Zach Mettenberger and throw a ball directly, seemingly, directly to a defender, man. So real tough interception yesterday. He also had a fumble. So the turnovers, man, real costly in the NFL in particular. They always talk about the turnover ratio. And, you know, historically in the NFL, if you have turnovers, you're just not going to win. So a real tough loss for the Falcons. Devontae Freeman, 21 carries, 88 yards. They kind of stop him totally in the first half. He kind of gets it going in the second half. Julio Jones, once again, another big game. The Julio Jones that we saw in the first couple of weeks where he just went ham. 12 catches, 162 yards. Ball award to him. Once again, Roddy White, 2 catches, 24 yards. So, on the flip side, though, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know I'm a Jameis Winston fan. I want to see him succeed. I want to see him do well because they are seemingly a contingency of haters out there for Jameis Winston. The man didn't do anything spectacular. 16 for 29, 177 yards, runs one touchdown, has the touchdown run that you saw in the game. And Tampa Bay, man, they're 3-4 right now. Once again, what happened last week, they theoretically, easily could be 4-3 right now. But they're 3-4 right now. Jameis Winston, first-year quarterback, kind of slow out of the gate. First game of the season against the Tennessee Titans. Not turning the ball over right now. You got to be excited as hell that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you're a Buccaneers fan, you got to be excited as hell of some of the steps that you've seen Jameis Winston make over the first couple of weeks up until this point in the season. 3-4, easily could have been 4-3. And their first 7 games, his first 7 games of his NFL career, ball award to Jameis Winston. I think that kid's going to be all right. And there was no reason not to think he wasn't going to be all right. A couple of questionable calls, I guess. The fourth down on their side of the field yesterday for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They decided to go for it. You know what happened? The Falcons scored quickly, take the game to overtime. I don't know about that, man. I am never in favor. Never in favor. In that scenario for a team going for it, or whether it's 4th and 1, I don't care if it's 4th and half an inch. You see it happen all the time where teams are stopped on that down. So what happens, once again, the Falcons score a touchdown. They go to overtime. They can't find a way to drive the ball down the field. Tampa Bay scores the field goal, and Tampa Bay wins. Real boneheaded mistake by Lovie Smith. One thing you have to say about the Falcons, though, you got to talk about the aspect that the defensive secondary was decimated yesterday with injuries. My homeboy, Phillip Adams, and I say homeboy because he played for my university, South Carolina State, really tried out there, but they really went at him. This is a guy, not really heralded coming out of college, obviously playing at a small 1AA school. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they really went at him yesterday, had a tough day, a strong day. I think him and the rest of the secondary that were out there because of injuries, they played as good as they could, but there's a reason why those guys are backups and those guys aren't starters in the NFL. So just a tough day for the Falcons. They go to 6-2. Now, you can look at it this way. They're 6-2, all right? There's nothing to really hold your head down about that. Nobody thought the Falcons would be 6-2 right now. Or you can look at it from the other side and say they've lost 2 of their last 3 games. And they should have won this game. They should have won this game. They were the better team. Let's put it like that. They were the better team. Big-time favorite, I think a 7.5-point favorite. And they lose yesterday. Are the Falcons coming back to life, back to reality? Like soul to soul up in this piece. I don't think so. I think they're still going to be good. This is the NFL. These things happen. Once again, there's parity in the league. Teams draft players, free agency. Everything is set up to make teams very competitive in the NFL. So 6-2 at this point in the season, I don't think is that bad. What are your thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons? All right, when we get back from the break, we'll talk about some birthdays. I'll read some of your chat. We'll do what we do, more Ballers and Busters on this Man Talk Monday right here on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. We're back. The Two Live Stews are back on air every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on WGST. It's Sports Talk with Hot Sauce. Special thanks to our sponsor, Bruce Hagen, at Hagen-Law.com for making it happen.
640 WGST in Atlanta. Search 640 WGST on iHeartRadio worldwide.
Yes! In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and #1 independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
If you're not stewing, what in the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday, Ballers and Busters, Game Balls and Goats. You can email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com, but the easy way to be totally interactive is just to jump in the chat on Spreaker.com. I'm about to read some of your chat here in a second. Hey, if you haven't heard, man, we are doing some huge things right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. You can get a $5 ad on the show and on the network. A 60-second ad starting at just $5. We're doing voiceovers. We're doing a lot of big things. Check us out on Fiverr.com, or you can email me directly at doug@thedugstewartshow.com or Trei, at thedugstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. The bigger things that we're doing, the biggest things that we're doing on the network is we're broadcasting other shows. So if you have a podcast or show, but you don't really have an audience, we have a pretty big audience here, man. We have over or close to 10,000 followers. We're going to cross 10,000 followers here in a little while to the network, as well as over 300,000 listens. So people are listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. So get some listeners at a very, very great price where we'll broadcast your show or podcast on my network, as well as we're doing infomercials, like interview-style promotional shows as well on the network. So if you got a product or a company you want to get some fanfare about it, holla at me. Email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. All right, before we jump back into the sports and read some of your chat, man, on this Man Talk Monday, celebrating a birthday today is Nellie. Nellie turns 41 years old today. Happy birthday to Nellie, country grandma. Nellie sold over 8 million copies of Country Grandma. Yeah, Nelly been around for a minute. He's been around since 2000. Album Country Grammar sold over 8 million copies. He also became a professional. Oh, yeah, he was drafted into in baseball, maybe by his hometown St. Louis Cardinals, I believe. But he didn't make the team, obviously. He had that single Hot in Here and Dilemma in his second studio album. Nellyville became one of the best-selling rap albums of its era. And real catchy. Now, I would never say Nelly's, like, even in the top 50 rappers of all times. I'm just telling the truth. But anytime you can say that you're the biggest rapper from a city, because, I mean, rap ain't just New York like it was in 1985. Okay, back in 1985, to be considered a rapper, period, you had to be from New York City. All right, but it ain't like that anymore. So to say that you're the biggest rapper from St. Louis is pretty good. It's kind of catchy. The music was pretty good. I mean, I'm a fan of Nelly. He's a hustler. You know, he's on that Real Husbands of Hollywood thing with Kevin Hart. I like Nelly, kind of corny in his music for my taste, but I got respect for him. You know, you can't put Nelly up against LL Cool J or KRS-One or something like that. He ain't no rapper like that. But I respect the young man's hustle. So happy birthday to Nelly. Our own Roddy White turns 34 years old today. Happy birthday to Roddy. That's how they say it in the Low Country. Roddy from James Island. He played for the James Island Trojans. Roddy White from the Low Country of South Carolina. So Roddy White turns 34 years old today. Happy birthday to him. The all-time leading receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. Roddy has done it real big in his day, man. I hate to see what they're doing to him right now. They are really, really disrespecting that man. 2 catches for 24 yards this past weekend. I don't think, and you know what, I guess maybe I need to reserve that judgment because I'm not actually there. Maybe he has lost a couple of steps, and they see that in practice. Maybe the Falcons have been trying to ship him out because he's lost a step 2, 3, or 4. But it doesn't seem like that's the case for him to drop off that dramatically, seemingly in 1 year. I don't know, though. But Roddy White, man, my homeboy from the Low Country of South Kakalaki, turns 34 years old today. Happy birthday to him. Played at UAB. And also celebrating a birthday today, speaking of wide receivers in the NFL, Danny Amendola, 30 years old for the New England Patriots. I think he still plays for New England. Happy birthday to him, even though he on them cheating Patriots. Speaking of which, did y'all see the story that the Jets in their game against New England, they had their locker room, what's the word they use, swept for bugs. Supposedly, that's what Boomer Esiason has reported, that he had wind that the Jets had their locker room swept for bugs. Now, there's really no backstory to it or more input as far as exactly why did they find anything like that. But that's the story coming from Boomer Esiason. And I'll say this, and you'll listen to the Doug Stewart Show. There's been a lot of talk about Tom Brady having the greatest season in the history of a quarterback in the NFL, and statistically his numbers show that. But I posted this on my Facebook yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. No matter how good Tom Brady looks right now, no matter how good this Patriots team looks right now, you got to really, really, kind of step back for a second and say to yourself and think back and remember all of the incidents of cheating by the New England Patriots. Yeah, they look fantastic right now, but chances are that they're probably cheating. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So just keep that tucked away in your memory bank. He looks phenomenal. Looks unbeatable. Yeah, you would look unbeatable too if you knew the other team's plays. So I'm not saying they cheating, but I'm not saying they not. What about the history would make you believe that they're not cheating? Yes, Tree.
Bugs in the locker room. Come on, this is not an episode of Power.
Tree, they've been accused of something like this in the past. Spygate.
Like real live bugs?
Yes.
I mean, you are sorry if you got to go to that extent.
Let me tell you something. Bill Belichick doesn't care. And the question now is no way that the Patriots would be this stupid to do this after all the attention that they got for Deflategate, and then you couple it with everything that they've been accused from in the past. I would say to those people, the first time they got caught cheating or doing something unscrupulous, you would think that they wouldn't try it again. But they have many, many times. Many, many times. So, yeah, once again, Tom Brady is putting up these incredible numbers, but chances are they're doing something where they have a competitive advantage, that they're cheating. Yes. I'm not giving the Patriots the benefit of the doubt. Hell to the no. No, and it's sad because before this whole thing went down with Deflategate in particular, I had pegged Tom Brady as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all times. Now, anything that this dude does, I don't give it much attention because we just don't know it now. We might find out, or we probably will find out a year or two down the road, 3 years down the road, that they've been doing something during this run. So I don't have any belief in what they're doing at all. Everything out there that they do right now, to me, is fugazi. Everything. And it's not because I'm just a hater of the Patriots or whatever, or I got a problem with Tom Brady. Period. Their history has shown that they cheat. Even when they get caught, they continue to find ways to cheat. So all you Tom Bradys out there, just remember that. They're probably cheating. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Ball award to Steph Curry for dropping almost 100 on the Pelicans in 2 games last week. We're going to talk some basketball a little bit later, man. A couple of the early storylines from the first week of action in the NBA from the 47 problem. Question for the host and the Stewies. Will the Falcons make the playoffs? Can Vic get that pass rush right before the season ends? And he's talking about Vic Beasley. Just really, I gave him the benefit of the doubt earlier, using that term again, and that he's young and that he's a rookie, but just a half a second slow. Great talent, man. I'm not ready to say Vic Beasley is not the guy that we drafted out of Clemson, and we're not going to get the production out of that guy. I'm not ready to say that yet. From Ryan Hill, he says Ryan misses at least 3 reads every game. That's what keeps him from being elite. Yeah. There's certain things, performance flaws that you see from Matt Ryan that kind of alleviates him or takes him from being above average to elite, to where you're talking about him in the same context of the greats in the game right now, the Aaron Rodgers of the world. He's just not there because of things and plays like we saw this past weekend with that interception. He's just not that guy. All right, we get back from the break. I'm going to read more of your chat. And I'm going to give you my thoughts. As unbiased as I can give you, I'm going to give you my thoughts on what happened between Miami versus Duke this weekend and the final play of the game where they lateraled the ball like 8 times, all right? Don't go away. Keep it locked. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's Stu for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
Give you the history on this Doug Stewart and Tree Taylor battle in Trivia Crack. We just started playing last week. We played 3 games. I won the first one in handily fashion. And then Tree has come along to beat me 2 times in a row. All right. Now, I blame Trivia Crack for asking me dumbass questions about romance comedies from the 1980s. That's who I blame. But she's won. And I got to give her credit. What? I knew you were going to jump.
Like, when you talk about women, Tree has come along.
It got nothing to do with you being a woman.
I showed up.
Oh, wait. Did you just... What? Oh, my gosh. Did she just call me the N-word? Oh, damn. We made Doug Stewart Show history just now. As many times as I've almost uttered that term, you did it! And we don't have 7-second delay.
I'm fired.
You getting the BPA. You nominated for a Boiled Penis Award.
No!
Yes, you are. The first time in the Doug Stewart Show history, someone utters the N-word.
I'm sick of you.
You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Good thing we, on radio, traditional radio, the FCC be beating down my damn door right now. They're already looking for a reason to try to put me out of business. And you come up with this. Golly, true. You're better than that.
That girl is poison. You never trust a big button to smile.
Stewies, what's up? Tree here to talk about your home security and the security experts at Strickland Security. Everything the team at Strickland Security does is focused around increasing the security of your home, protecting your family, and your business. Most home security companies, especially the larger ones, want to sell you a cookie-cutter alarm system that maximizes their profits, but not your security. The team at Strickland Security will install a customized alarm system that meets your budget and your security needs. This Atlanta-based company is here to solve all of your security problems. Whether you need your alarm system repaired, surveillance cameras installed, or your door locks replaced, Strickland Security is the solution. Don't wait. Call the experts at Strickland Security today. For more information, go to their website at stricklandsecurity.com or give them a call now at 800-422-9075. That's 800-422-9075 and tell them Tree sent you.
I mean, even when the show's not live, it's still live. Yes! Yeah, you know what I mean. This is the Doug Stewart Show, a rebroadcast of the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah, that's what it is. The world's heavyweight champion of sports and guy talk radio. This is the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so my voice is really starting to give way now. I had a false sense of security. I felt real strong when we started the show. Boy. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@dougstewartshow.com. Let me give out a couple ballers and busters, man. Ball award to the Clemson Tigers as they handle their business in beating North Carolina State. 56-41. Ball award to Deshaun Watson. 23 for 30. 383 yards and 5 touchdowns. Now, it is kind of alarming that North Carolina State puts up 41 points, but I'll say this. The quarterback for North Carolina State, Jacoby Brissett, is pretty damn good. He's going to play in the NFL, man. He throws for 254 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So a good win for Clemson. Once again, they continue to win. It's as simple as that. They've had the issue over the last couple of years of having letdowns and losing games that they're picked to win. So ball award to the Clemson Tigers today on a Man Talk Monday. Also, I adopted the Raiders a couple of years ago as my team. Long story short, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I never had a team that I, quote, unquote, rooted for in the NFL my entire life growing up. So a couple of years ago in the Two Live Stews, I did like this type of, what's the show called, where you basically have a competition, a reality show type thing where I picked a team, and ultimately I picked the Oakland Raiders. It was a long story, but basically I was a fan of Al Davis and the Raider black and silver. And so the Raiders, that's neither here nor there. The Raiders, man, they won this past weekend against the Jets team that was favored. Once again, the Jets have been doing great this year. They fall to 4-3. The Raiders go to 4-3, 34-20. And the big thing you got to have in the NFL, man, is a quarterback, okay? And if you don't have a quarterback, you pretty much can't win consistently. You might win every once in a while, but you're not going to win, period. And the Raiders got their quarterback, man. Derek Carr, 23 for 36, 336 yards and 4 touchdown passes, man. They got their quarterback. They got their quarterback, man. Amari Cooper is going to be that guy for that team. Yesterday, though, Michael Crabtree had a big day. 7 catches, 102 yards, man. Big day for him. He caught a touchdown. Tawan Jones caught a touchdown. Andre Holmes also caught 2 touchdowns. The Raiders might be back. I mean, they're not going to win a Super Bowl or anything like that this year, but they've been down for so long. Raider fans all across this nation, man, are celebrating because it looks like they are going down the right path. All right, and a ball award to Jack Del Rio, the head coach. Seems like he's turning that thing around. Let me read some of your chat from Jam 2. Brain with all due, Stewie's respect. They're cutting the nose despite the face, not including Roddy in the offense. Roddy in the offense is getting Julio killed, not having a quarterback who can get the ball down the field with some velocity. Has put a limit on the offense. James getting the ball down the field quick. Peyton, Drew, and others can't. Matt's in trouble. I need y'all to use commas, man. I need y'all to use commas. Yeah, Matt Ryan, he can get the ball down the field, but he doesn't have – that's not his game. If you expect Matt Ryan to be like this mad bomber like Ben Roethlisberger or somebody with a cannon arm like Cam Newton, that's just not his game, man. He's a guy that throws the short, intermediate routes, and if he has to go downfield, he can, but once again, it doesn't like my man Jam 2 said, he doesn't have the strongest arm. I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay. Once again, we got to do something about the defense. We got to get healthy. We're starting to have some injury issues right now. Hopefully we can get this thing back on track. From KC, ball award to my Bucks and my boy Jameis. I gave him a ball award earlier. From Thorny Switch, ball award to Lovey and Jameis. They found a way to win. I don't know if I want to give Lovey Smith a ball award for that 4th down when they went for it and they were stopped. Just imagine if the Falcons had won that game yesterday, they would have killed Lovey Smith yesterday or today in the media. So that was very, very bad in my opinion. From Clay Davis' sheet advisor, that ninja, how come they not talking about Jameis Winston's play the last 3 games? The Bucks could be at 500 right now if not for the defense. Very good point. I made that point earlier. From the 47th problem, Matt Ryan has issues. He's no more than the middle-of-the-road quarterback. He can't put a team on his shoulders and take them anywhere, period, point blank. Tend to agree with you more than I disagree with you. If not for Julio Jones having an all-world performance this part of the year, the Falcons would not be at the point where they're at right now with their record. I mean, there's just no denying that. Julio is definitely the catalyst for this offense, in particular, not so much Matt Ryan. And once again, I'm not dissing Matt Ryan. I think he's a good quarterback. But if you had to say, if you had to tell somebody and be honest about it, who is the guy on this offense? It's Julio. I mean, it's not even a question. I think it was a question the most recent past years because Julio was, young in the lead. But now he is really supplanting himself as the guy on this team and on this offense. From this Mocha Bella Bust Award to Khloe Kardashian for leaving LO's bedside to see Harden play in Houston. What? Wait a minute. I missed all of that this weekend. I thought that it had been reported that her and Lamar Odom were going to try to work things out and get back together. Is that not the case? All right, talk to me. I didn't keep up with that. I tried to watch SportsCenter and read on the internet the few times that I wasn't, alcohol dead, and listen to a lot of radio. I didn't hear this whole thing about that. Fill me in on that. From Jesse in his truck, I'm a diehard Falcon fan, but Winston deserves credit. If Mariota played the way Jameis has over the last 3 games, the media would be all over his Johnson. I tend to agree. The Kicking It with Kesey show. What up, Kesey? Matt Ryan is a great quarterback, and I'm not sipping the Kool-Aid. He did have one bad interception. That one is true. But the problem with Matt's interceptions, and I agree with you, the problems with Matt's interceptions, they are bad. It's not like a tip ball or something like that and a defender catches it, a ball that should have been caught by a receiver or something like that. They're like he throws them directly in the chest of an opponent. They look real, real bad. The fumble wasn't his fault at all, and his stats were still great. From Jam 2, Matt Ryan is still checked down Charlie. Don't be surprised if New Orleans and Carolina beat the Falcons twice this season. I just can't see that happening. Remember a couple of weeks ago when the Falcons were off to that 5-0 start, I had looked down the schedule, and I had pegged at least one, probably 2 of the games versus Tampa Bay, 2 of the games, both of the games against New Orleans. That's not looking so good right now. New Orleans balled out of control over the last couple of weeks offensively. And, the win over Tennessee, they got that done. Right now, they look kind of shaky. It looks like the wheels are coming off a little bit. They're not off, but they look like they're not the team that we saw the first couple of weeks from Grego. I don't like Winston either, but he plays to win, so you got to respect that. 47 problem. BPA to Lovey for calling that run on 4th and 1. With a minute and 52 left to play in the game, the ball award for finding a way to win is OT, or NOT. Yeah, there was a big story about, and I can't remember the lineman's name right now, but that the defensive squad was kind of upset for the fact that Lovey didn't have enough faith in them to punt that ball and put Atlanta deep in their territory and that they could stop them for a series. So, and the Falcons had to score a touchdown. It wasn't like the Falcons just needed a field goal to tie or win. The Falcons needed to score a touchdown to take it into overtime, and they did, and get the extra point. And they did. So that was horrible in my opinion, man. And once again, if the Falcons would have found a way to win that game on yesterday, it would have been killing Lovie Smith today. And deservingly so. Deservingly so. That was bad. I don't know if somebody talked Lovie into that. I don't know, but he's the head coach, so ultimately he's responsible. And if he would have lost that game, if the Bucs would have lost that game because of that, it would have been bad on him today. All right, we get back from the break. Hour number 2 of the show already. When we get back, more of your chat, more ballers, more busters. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
Let me read more of this chat before I get out of here. Oh, my gosh. Okay, my man K3000. Yeah. If you're new to the show, K3000, he's kind of long-winded. We love him, though. So I guess this is why Tree's playing this music in the background. He says, Dougie, I feel you. People love making fun of people when they get caught doing something semi-wrong, like receiving extra free shrimp. But they don't realize that a lot of these guys are effing starving and that they're effing restricted from even signing their name for gain. You give me a damn scholarship and I'm supposed to sign over all my damn rights, all my money-making potential, and if I don't comply, then you blackball me so that I can't make it to the next level to actually receive a check? GTFOH, he did a bunch of GTFOHs. CSI, this is the ish. I'm pissed off about too. That's like dude from Ohio State that actually went to court to get the rule changed and then got blackballed and lost that life. GTFOH, a lot of them. I'm totally with you, Dougie. I'm totally with you. Thank you, K3000. I'm with me, too. When my best of shows are better than their live shows, you know they lame as hell, shorty. You're listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show, Man Talk Monday. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Doing ballers and busters, game balls and goats. All right, let me give you my thoughts on this Miami versus Duke. Now, y'all know I've been a Miami Hurricane fan for the last, 30 years, ever since they had, came on the scene, I guess, with Schnellenberger and Jimmy Johnson, all of those guys. You saw the play, what happened, Miami versus Duke. Duke's about to win the game, last play of the game. They perform, Miami performs, in effect, the Stanford Cal play from some 25, 30 years ago, where they just continue to lateral the ball back. They lateraled the ball 8 times in this particular play for Miami versus Duke. Now, there's some controversy about it because if you go back and look at the videotape, it looks like that Miami blocks 2 times. They block Duke players in the back twice, which should have been clipping penalties, which nullified the play. And then there was one lateral that looked like the Miami player's knee was down on the ground, okay? Now, first of all, let me talk about the play. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. To me, it's not clear-cut a case where the officials missed calls on both the blocking in the backs as well as the down knee. The first, let me break it down piece by piece. The first block in the back was clearly a clipping call, but the referees missed it. And it's kind of understandable that you would miss something like that because there's basically commotion going on. There's a lot of peel back blocks that are happening simultaneously. So the officials are watching the field, and there's just a ton of stuff going on. So it was blatant. It was definitely a clip. They missed it. Calls are missed all the time in the NFL. There was also, and I want to skip the whole thing about the knees being down. There was also another block at the very end of the play right before the Miami player scored. To me, you can really say that he blocked him. He caught him on the side. Once again, very questionable. And then the last thing, the big thing that everybody's talking about is that at very early in that play, probably like the third or fourth lateral, it looked like that the Miami player's knee hit the ground. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show when he threw back the lateral to the player. Once again, to me, if you look at the play, it wasn't definitive, that his knee was actually on the ground. From the angle of the camera, it looked like his knee was on the ground, but you couldn't 100% be certain that it was. It was almost like simultaneous. So if you go back at it, if you're the officials, and Lord knows I don't like officials, so I don't really want the officials to be writing anything. Subsequently, the officials were suspended by the ACC, which was stupid to me. I don't know why you would suspend your officials for something after the fact, okay? But anyway, if you looked at it, you couldn't 100% say to yourself that the guy's knee was down, So bottom line is all 3 questionable plays or parts of that play were just that. They were questionable. You had already made the determination that Miami had won. They always talk about how when you do replay, unless you have definitive proof to change the call, usually the officials won't, and I can understand if they had made any of those 3 calls, But once again, they were all questionable. I didn't have a part with it. I heard Mike Greenberg this morning on Mike and Mike saying that in this particular case, in plays like this, that, whether it's 10 minutes after the fact or an hour after the fact or the next day or the next week, that they should just change the call and award the win to Duke. You just can't do that. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. And they did that with the replay. Now, you can question whether the officials got the play wrong even after the replay. That's one thing. But that's what exactly Mike Greenberg was talking about, is reviewing the play and changing it. They didn't change it. That's it. It's a wrap. Okay? Duke is just ass out. How the hell a day later you going to change the darn winner? It don't work like that. They got replay. What more you want them to do? They messed up the replay maybe, but it is what it is. It's a wrap. You cannot go back a day after the fact, a week after the fact, and give that victory to the Duke Blue Devils. And I know David Cutcliffe is pissed off, and those players should be pissed off because when you look at the replay, clearly there's some calls that could have been made. The officials missed the calls. They miss calls all the time. And at the end of the day, the Miami Hurricanes win, and the Duke Blue Devils are ass out. Simple as that. What are your thoughts on that? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. From a man, Vince Wright, he says, y'all see a new 30 for 30 on Evander Holyfield coming out called Chasing Tyson? I did not see that. I bet you that's going to be a great story, though. Because you remember, it was like he was chasing Mike Tyson. You know, supposedly Evander should have got that shot at Tyson much earlier. He didn't. Everybody said that Tyson was running from him, that his management didn't want to fight Holyfield. They finally did. The ear-biting incident, Holyfield beats Tyson soundly. So, yeah, that should be pretty good. From Brian Hill, Ryan misses at least 3 reads every game. That's what keeps him from being elite. Clay Davis' sheet advisor, the Falcons will make the playoffs, but most likely as a wild card. It's funny because last year the Falcons were 5-1 in division play. Now they're 0-2. From that Doc 12, the Seahawks get a win this past weekend. From 9-0, the Rhino, every game was tight yesterday. Great NFL Sunday. I agree. Ball award to the NFL. From Vince Wright, Detroit sucks even in Europe. As the Lions get destroyed, they get a bust award to the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday, man. Jim Caldwell, you can stick a fork in his ass. He's done. Let me grab a call. Caller, thank you for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name, where you call it from, what you want to talk about?
Douglas, good morning, man. This is the Oklahoma Sigma.
Oklahoma Sigma, what up, baby? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Living life and loving it. You?
I am the same, man. Had a great weekend, back and ready today. What you got for me, brother?
Periscope.
Yeah. What you got?
Man, I'm going to give out a couple of ballers and busters today for you.
Do it.
Man, I got to give one out to the Denver Broncos defense, man. Them boys are something else.
Yeah.
If Peyton Manning would have had this in Indianapolis, he'd have all Tom Brady Super Bowls probably.
Yeah, big win last night for the Denver Broncos, man, which a lot of people did not have them winning as they beat the Packers soundly 29-10. Ball award to that defense. You're right.
I mean, they held the former MVP to 77 yards passing. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Also, I want to give a ball award out to my OKC Thunder, baby. 3-0 on the season. Looking nice with Kevin Durant back.
Yeah. Kevin Durant back being that guy. One of the best players in basketball. You're right. 3-1 on the year, man. Great start for that team. And they're going to be in the hunt. You're exactly right. Ball award to them. Yeah.
And the Thunder, the rest of the team is now stronger than it's ever been before, I think, with the additions we made last year with Enes Kanter and those boys. So we're looking good. And for my Bush Awards, you already hit the Miami Duke West, so I'm not going to go in on them. But then I want to give a Bush Award to my Dallas Cowboy offense, man. We held the defending NFC champs to 13 points, and we can't get a win out of that. My heart is hurting right now.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Oklahoma Sigma. Yeah, man. And I was able to see a lot of this game yesterday while I was dozing in and out of sleep or whatever. But Matt Castle, and I talked about Zach Mettenberger and Ryan Mallett, Matt Castle, he sucks. Now, there are a lot of variables to the reason why he sucks right now. And you know Matt Castle can play. You know, he had that tremendous year when Tom Brady was out in New England. You know that he can play. Now that I think about it, maybe he knew the plays then, too. He was in New England. Maybe he was cheating at that time. Maybe he sucks all the way around. But yesterday, man, look absolutely horrible. They cannot move the ball, man. They are hemorrhaging. They get Dez Bryant back, man, but they go down, man, at home, 13-12 to the Seattle Seahawks. Ball award to Seattle finding a way to come back and win that game. And Buster award to the Dallas Cowboys, man. The season is pretty much shot right now. They're 2-5. Buster award to them. Buster award to the Dallas Cowboys. It couldn't be a better team. And my boy Patriot, a.k.a. Stagger Lee, here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, the Doug Stewart Show, is all excited about Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy had a big play yesterday where he caught an interception, man, and just causing havoc. He pushes the hell out of the pocket. I got to give him that. But once again, we still have a $2 bet. Me and the great Stagger Lee have a $2 bet that Greg Hardy doesn't finish the season on the NFL roster because he's going to get suspended because he is insane. He's insane. So y'all remember, we still got that bet going. That man's insane. He's a lunatic. No self-control at all. All right, when we get back from the break, man, more your chat. And tough day for injuries, man. In particular, one guy, man, a Hall of Fame type player, bows out with an injury. We'll talk about that. I'll read more your chat. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-File, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
Vegas, I believe, is the only state, or Nevada is the only state where they have legalized prostitution in these whorehouses, and they call them brothels, and it's not in the city limits of Vegas in that particular county. It's like the next county over, and I've just heard all of this on the street. I just heard about this, but this is how it actually is. So, like, one county over, if you drive, and I think this story said it's like 70 miles where Lamar Odom was found, this next county over, they have legalized whorehouses. The technical term is brothels. Yes, Tree.
I mean, I'm going to say something that may surprise you. To be honest with you, like, they need to legalize it everywhere because...
Whoa. Wait a minute, Aunt Esther.
No. This is real talk here.
Okay.
The government has no business telling people where they can fling their cat, get their vitamin D. It's not up to the government to decide that. So while I wouldn't choose that as my lifestyle, shout out to Nevada for understanding that that's that woman's body.
Yeah.
And she can do what she wants with it.
In theory, I 100% agree with you. I didn't know we were going to start this social conversation on whores and whorehouses in America, but I agree with you, Tree.
I'm telling you, just stop it, government, and legalize the kitty.
Legalize? Wait a minute. I think we got a new moniker now for the show. Legalize the kitty.
Sports talk. Straight, no chaser.
Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. We're doing some huge things here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the Doug Stewart Show, and the biggest thing being broadcasting other shows. That's right, we're executive producing other shows and playing them on my network. You may have a fantastic show or podcast, but do you have listeners? We got listeners, over 9,000 followers to the Doug Stewart Show on the Spreaker platform, as well as over 200,000 plus listens to the network itself. So here's what you do. Go to Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, and search the Doug Stewart Show or Stewart Media and Entertainment and get all the details. Or just hit up the producer, Tree at TheDougStewartShow.com. That's spelled Trei. Tree at TheDougStewartShow.com, and come and do business with us on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes! in a constant battle against weak-ass sports talk. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your boy. Oh, my. The Bulldogs won this past weekend, if you wanted to know. South Carolina State Bulldogs won. Ball award to them. I played in a former athletes golf tournament on Friday morning as well. Just a fun-filled weekend, man. Saw a lot of people. It was great. If you've never been to homecoming at an HBCU in particular, man, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to go check it out, man. I mean, we have a good time. And I think we're just so happy because a lot of people, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I think that we have such a good time and we love our schools so much, our HBCUs, because a lot of times, for blacks in particular, they were the only option to get an education and to better themselves. And a lot of people, in particular, when I was coming through, I remember when I was online, we just got all, were picked to pledge the illustrious Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And when we were online, now it's 32 guys on my line. And we had, out of the 32, we had 28 that were able to come back. One just passed away this past summer. I'm sure if you listen to the show, you know that. But out of the 32 guys that were in that room, at one point during the interview process at the very beginning, the brothers were like, all right, if you're first generation college, stand up. And like, out of the 32 guys, man, no lie, like 29 dudes stepped up or stood up. And so going to college, graduating college is a big thing for a lot of us, man, and that opportunity to go to college was big. And so when we get into that college feel, or we're, in that college atmosphere, and we, presumably do better in life because of said college degree, it means a lot to a lot of us, man. I really believe so. And that's why we have such an affinity, I think, for our universities. But it was just off the chain this past weekend, man. And shouts out to all my people that came down to homecoming this weekend. Couple of sad, and I guess I want to give a Buster Award to Father Time and to Mother Nature, I guess. And she could be included as well. Buster Award to both of them. Le'Veon Bell, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, is done for the season. Torn MCL in his right knee. If you saw the play, he got bent out of shape like a freaking pretzel, man. I mean, truthfully, if you're a Steelers fan, truthfully, you gotta be honest with yourself, man, it could have been a whole lot worse. I'm talking about that looked like it should have been ACL, both MCLs. I think there's 2 MCLs. ACL, MCLs, I mean, cartilage, anything. I mean, it could have been all kinds of things wrong with that injury that you saw, the way he got twisted up. So he's done for the year. And also the worst part of yesterday, even worse than Le'Veon Bell's, I guess you could say, is because of the circumstances. Steve Smith tore his Achilles on yesterday. Now, he had already made the announcement that this was going to be his last year, that he was going to retire. The guy's 36 years old. What was this, his 15th year in the league? So he had already said for the record that this was it. He was done. The guy had already got some ribs broken early in the year in his back, he got a vertebrae or something broken. And now this, and it didn't even look that bad. It looked like he just made a cut, and the Achilles just ruptured on him. And so real sad to see. He actually moved into 10th all-time in receiving in the NFL yesterday in yardage. So real tough situation, man. Ball award to Steve Smith. Just a tremendous, fantastic career in relative terms to a guy no one thought would do what he had done in the league. You remember Steve Smith was in effect a punt returner coming out of college. He was a special teams player. Made it to a Super Bowl, had a tremendous career, man. I always like that guy because that guy will fight your ass. I know. He ain't scared of nothing. And I guess you got to have some type of attitude and a chip on your shoulder to play at the level that the guy has for 15 years, man. So a great career for Steve Smith. I'm going to assume that he's done. Why would you do all the rehab to come back and then you're not going to be the same guy again? So I'm going to assume he's going to retire and call it quits. Great career to the great Steve Smith. And I do say great. I think he might be a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have the hardware to me, he passes Chris Carter as 10th in the all-time receiving yards list. I'm going to guess that he doesn't, and I should have had this in front of me, and I apologize. I'm going to guess he doesn't have as many touchdowns as Chris Carter, because Chris Carter, all he did was catch touchdowns. But passes him in yardage, made it to a Super Bowl with the Carolina Panthers, was the best team on Baltimore this year. Maybe he gets in the Hall of Fame. We'll see. But great career for Steve Smith. Let me read more of your chat here on the Doug Stewart Show. From Jam2, he says, Matt Ryan doesn't need to be great. Sounds like UGA's game plan. Yeah, the Bucks or the Bulldogs go down this past weekend to the Florida Gators. Fatan Barta comes in. He looks, no other way to say it, horrible. Remember at the start of the season, we were previewing these college teams, the top 25, and we talked about how Grayson Lambert was coming in from Virginia, and, it was still a question of who was going to be a starter. And I said that if they're this late in the determination on who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs, what that's really saying is they don't have any quarterbacks at all. And we kind of got, tripped up and, believed or led to believe based on a couple of early performances by Grayson Lambert that he was going to be the guy. No, he's not. They really don't have a quarterback this year for the Georgia Bulldogs. And not having Nick Chubb now just shines a light on that fact that they have to throw the ball now. Even though Sony Michel has been doing great this year, they don't have a quarterback. The Georgia Bulldogs don't have a quarterback. From Sluggo, Lovey almost handed us the game. Yeah, talking about the Atlanta Falcons. From the 47th problem, he says, Buster Ward to that offense for the Falcons. 4 turnovers with 2 in the red zone. Take that gun out of their hands before they shoot themselves in their foot. Yeah, they've had a real issue with red zone turnovers, man. Over really, I don't want to say his entire career, but over the last couple of years, seemingly, they've had much issues with red zone turnovers with the Atlanta Falcons. Let me read more of your chat. And thank you for the chat from Uncle Luke. Cheatrious, try like hell, then. That ninja, tell him, Doug, stand down, Grego. From Clay Davis' sheet advisor, Thorny, they was the last to perform, and they was last for that, too. I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Doug is heartbroken, kind of like being in love and finding out that someone said your girl has been a cheater, but you never caught her yourself and broke up with her. You people need to just enjoy some incredible coaching. I guess he's talking about the Patriots. Okay, dude, whatever. Your history speaks for itself, Grego. From Jesse in his truck, are we talking about wiretaps or roaches? No, bruh, wiretaps. From the 47th problem, I'm getting to the chat conversation I guess about when I talked about how great the Patriots look and Tom Brady look, but just temper that with the fact that they're probably cheating, and their history says that they're probably cheating. We find out years after the fact that they've been cheating, or after the fact in general that they're cheating, but their history definitively says that they're probably cheating right now. That's undeniable. From Cleo to 72, have you all given Drew Brees and my Saints a ball award yet? If not, ball award to Brees and the Saints. I'm going to talk about that game here in a second. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and do it right now, man. Ball award to Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints yesterday. This ninja throws 7 touchdown passes, 511 yards, man. The 7 touchdown passes ties an NFL record, and there's been like 6 or 7 guys to do that. As they get a win over the New York Giants on yesterday, man. Buster Ward to the Giants. Studio audience, where y'all at? Okay, there we go. Buster Ward to the Giants, man. Letting the man throw for 7 touchdowns and 511 yards against you as they go down. The Giants, real tough year for them, man. But ball award, essentially, man, to the New Orleans Saints, who get a huge win in the NFC South. From ducking and dodging, the NFL sweeps for bugs anyway randomly from that ninja. Yeah, but what the report is that the Jets has a heads up about something else, and that random thing, they requested that the NFL sweep their locker room for the bugs. From that ninja, Georgia lost. Minnesota gave a game away. Rodgers threw for 77. Winston is playing well. Watson should be a Heisman candidate, and these jackasses talking about the call a winning coach made from Kaza. And I guess Deshaun Watson probably is a Heisman candidate, but he won't win. He won't win because there's been too much fanfare about Leonard Fournette. I think right now, if they had the ceremony right now, I think Deshaun Watson would be invited. He has to be. I mean, he looks phenomenal out there for Clemson. Phenomenal. Yeah, he would get invited. I don't think he would win, but he would get invited. And you know what? Maybe he would win. You know, and they haven't made the determination, or they haven't started, or the vote hadn't been cast yet for the Heisman. So if LSU loses a game and not in the running for a national championship and Clemson is, maybe Deshaun Watson does get the votes. I don't know. When we get back, more of your chat, more Ballers and Busters on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. Hey, wait. Get your hands off that dial. Now, today's show isn't live, but it's kind of live. As a matter of fact, it's very live. Yes! This is a rebroadcast of the Doug Stewart Show. Don't turn the dial. Stay here. Yeah, the Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
Give you the history on this Doug Stewart and Tree Taylor battle in Trivia Crack. We just started playing last week. We played 3 games. I won the first one in handily fashion. And then Tree has come along to beat me 2 times in a row. All right. Now, I blame Trivia Crack for asking me dumbass questions about romance comedies from the 1980s. That's who I blame. But she's won. And I got to give her credit. What? I knew you were going to jump.
Like, when you talk about women, Tree has come along.
It ain't got nothing to do with you being a woman.
No, I showed up.
Oh, wait. Did you just... What? Oh, my gosh. Did she just call me the N-word? Oh, damn. We made Doug Stewart Show history just now. As many times as I've almost uttered that term, you did it! And we don't have 7-second delay.
I'm fired.
You getting the BPA. You nominated for a Boiled Penis Award.
No.
Yes, you are. The first time in the Doug Stewart Show history, someone utters the N-word.
I'm sick of you.
You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Good thing we, on radio, traditional radio, the FCC be beating down my damn door right now. They're already looking for a reason to try to put me out of business. And you come up with this. Golly, True. You're better than that.
That girl is poison. You never trust a big button to smile.
From sporting events, concerts, and plays, Gistix has the best tickets for them all. The owner, a veteran and military spouse, founded the company set on delivering affordable prices for all the top events. Also, they sell 100% authentic signed memorabilia and quality fan merchandise. It's a one-stop shop for fans. Gistix was founded in 2014 by 4 fun people with military and DoD backgrounds that are fans of everything entertainment. They work hard at helping fans like us discover tickets for live entertainment at a great price, providing hard-to-find authentic sports items and merchandise. And they offer Easter eggs that give fans additional opportunities to purchase unique items. Active and non-military members receive an additional discount on event tickets and fan merchandise items as a thank you for your service. Again, Gistics is founded by fans, and they listen to other fans to understand the importance of service, price, and quality across the board for entertainment, memorabilia, and merchandise. Check them out at Gistics.com, spelled Jistix.com. Again, Gistics.com. That's Gistics.com. Huge contingency of listeners that are women. Thank y'all for tuning in. See, they're getting they man game straight. You know, they're getting some little inside stuff on men. They can go home and talk sports with their boyfriends or husbands. So shouts out to all of the ladies that listen to the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah, we love the ladies. Hey, man, this segment is brought to you by our friends from Strickland Security. Man, Atlanta is a fantastic place. I always talk about the A. I love this place, my adopted hometown of ATL. But Atlanta does have some issues with crime. It does. So you need to protect your family, man. You need to protect your wife, your kids when you're not there. Maybe you're in bed. And that's another thing. Me and somebody else were talking about it this weekend. Like, burglars and criminals today are much more brazen than they were when we were growing up. Like, back in the day, you know, somebody trying to rob your house, they didn't kick your door in during the middle of the day. They do that around here all the time, man. Back in the day, it was all about darkness and night and, you know, you not being home. A lot of these young ninjas today, they'll kick your door in during the middle of the damn day. They don't care if you're there or not. It's crazy. It's unbelievable, man, but that's true. You got to protect your family, man. Holla at my folks at Strickland Security. They have over 55 years combined experience in the business. They'll give you a basic alarm system or they'll give you the big boy alarm system. Starting at just $15 a month, they can take care of you. Holla at my folks at StricklandSecurity.com. Once again, that's StricklandSecurity.com, and tell them Doug Stewart sent you. All right? All right. Let me see. Was there anything else I need to get that I need to talk about? Yes, Tree. Oh, I know. You looking at me with that look like, Ninja, if you don't tell these people directly, right after the show today, 12 p.m. today, Eastern Time, the rebroadcast of the Two Live Stews from this past Saturday. All right, so as soon as I'm done, like we usually finish up around here like at 11:55. So at 12 p.m., show's going to start. We'll rebroadcast this Saturday's episode of the Two Live Stews, which I thought was phenomenal, taking into consideration that I had drunk about 2 liters of alcohol the night before. Yes, Tree.
So you thought it was phenomenal?
Yeah, I thought it was phenomenal. What?
Because I'm going to take this opportunity to let you know. I don't know if Walter was running the board. In all of his perfection.
Walter was running the board. Uh-huh.
Okay, and all of that praise that Ryan was given. But you realize that you didn't even come on air until 15 minutes after.
What are you talking about?
Y'all were not live until 15 minutes after.
Something was muted?
I don't really know, Doug. Why don't you ask Ryan since he's so big on Walter?
Tree, come on, Tree.
No, I'm tired of it. Y'all think y'all can run-ish when I'm not there? Have at it.
Well,
wait
a minute. Now,
that's why you can't send boys to do a woman's job. Tell me I can take off.
What? Now, wait a minute, Tree. That sounds like you throwing a bow at Walter. Now, I don't first of all, and somebody emailed me and said something about the first couple of minutes of the show. They missed it or wouldn't. And I didn't know what they were talking about.
The whole damn world missed it because the ninja didn't turn off the mute.
You're joking. I don't think Walter did that. Are you serious?
There's no way we can tell because, well, can someone in the chat please confirm? And I can't even believe you don't believe me. Like,
well, I really wouldn't.
No, I'm your home girl.
I'm not saying that you're not telling the truth. And I really wasn't paying attention to any type of, white noise like that in the background because I was too busy getting my homecoming on. No, I mean after the fact. So, If somebody did, once again, I jumped in my email for a second and I saw some comments about where's the show, and I didn't know what they were talking about. I thought maybe that they were at home coming to drinking with me. But you're saying that the first segment of the show, listeners couldn't hear it on 640 WGST?
640 WGST, Walter on the board, Ryan running his mouth. In all honesty, I didn't feel that you were giving shade like you do on here, but those other two, yeah, that's what happens. God don't like ugly. There was dead silence.
Wow.
And who was calling the station on your behalf?
Wow.
I did it for you, not for Ryan.
Well, thank you, Tree. Thank you. You need to settle that with Ryan. Now, Tree, you need to understand. That's what Ryan does. He doesn't mean any harm by it. You need to don't be so sensitive, Tree.
That's your bloodline, though. He got it earnestly.
No, he didn't get it from me. He got it from my Uncle Donnie. But my daddy ain't like him. My mom ain't like him. And, my Uncle Donnie, though. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So, quick story about my Uncle Donnie. And I always talk about him. One of the greatest uncles in the history of the world. He talks like this. Hey, Doug, what are you guys going to do this weekend? Dude lived in New York City for probably 30 years. But anyway, he moved back to the crib, and his nickname is Killer. And I don't know whether he actually killed somebody back in the day or not. I hope that's not the case. But anyway, they call him Killer. He's a big dude. Real nasty attitude back in the day. But he used to push a good stick. Remember, I threw out that term a couple of weeks ago when we talked about how me and Ryan won this pool tournament. And so he used to be like a world-renowned, well-known in our area pool player. And so one night I'm in a little juke joint. This is like I'm a senior in high school, maybe a little bit older. And Uncle Donnie walks in, has on a three-piece suit, one of those big hats on, like, with the feather on the side or whatever. He walks in and like everybody just stands to the side. Oh, Donnie walks in and he's got his pool stick with him. You remember how they used to have the pool sticks where you screw them in two parts. So he walks in with his pool stick, and he hadn't played pool in a long, long time. And I had never seen him play pool. I just heard, your Uncle Killer real nice with that stick. He real nice with that stick. And he's kind of like a gangster. And then so anyway, he walks in, and he takes off his jacket, unzips his vest or whatever, puts his hat to the side, pulls out his stick, screws up his stick, walks to the table, man. I watched this man run the table, no lie, 12 times in a row. This man made so many bank shots off the cushion. Bank shots. That's my Uncle Donnie. That's my Uncle Donnie. So maybe Ryan got his attitude from Uncle Donnie, because Uncle Donnie, he would slap the taste out of your mouth. Our Uncle Donnie was kind of like Charles Oakley, but Monk's Corner style. You know how Charles Oakley allegedly is going around slapping many an NBA player and dared them to do something? He ain't like that now. He's kind of, toned it down a lot because he's in his early 60s. But when he was in his 30s and 40s, he'd slap you and not even think about it. Yes, sir. The great Uncle Donnie. The great Uncle Donnie. And he always used to give us $5 whenever we see him. Think about that. Our Uncle Donnie was that type of uncle. You know, the uncle that whenever he saw you, gave you a couple of dollars. When everybody else's uncle was giving them a quarter, our Uncle Donnie would give us $5, no matter where we would see him. And then on Christmas or whatever, he'd give us like a crisp $20 bill. I mean, the greatest uncle in the world. The great Uncle Donnie. Yes, sir. And I've told the story before a couple of years ago at our family reunion. Uncle Donnie was just watching me. I had these new shades that I had bought. These shades were like $250. And Uncle Donnie just kept looking at me and looking at me and looking at these shades. And I saw him looking at me, but I didn't know what he was going to do. And so at some point in the day, after we've been drinking many beers, he drinks Natural Light. He looks at me and is like, Doug, let me see those shades you got on. So that's my Uncle Donnie. I just told you the guy gave me $5 every time I saw him. So I let him see the shades. He put them on. He's like, yeah, these are nice. And he walks away. So that's kind of odd. So I pass him a couple more times during the family reunion, and he doesn't even make mention that he's still wearing my shades. These are $300 shades. And make a long story short, Uncle Donnie walked away and kept my shades and never said anything more about them. That's what you're supposed to do. And I already told you the man has slapped many people back in the day and dared them to do anything. They called him Killer. He was always good to us. He gave us $5 every time we saw him. I didn't ask him back. I didn't ask for the shades back. I didn't. I guess it was kind of like karma. He had given me $5 since I was 5 years old. So you can keep them $300 shades, Uncle Donnie. That's fine. That's fine. I hadn't seen him anymore. I'm pretty sure he's lost them. I don't think he even realized that those were $300 shades that he was wearing. He probably thought that they were just cool. He didn't understand the cost of them. And so it wasn't no big deal of him. And he kept my shades. So everything you ever needed to know about my Uncle Donnie, you have learned in the last 6 minutes. And it's all true. Ask somebody from the great city of Moncks Corner, they'll tell you. Wore real nice suits. Pushed a good stick. Will slap your ass without a second thought. And he stole my damn shades. When we get back from the break, man, more of your chat, more ballers, more busters. This is the Doug Stewart Show. In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! We're doing some huge things here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the Doug Stewart Show, and the biggest thing being broadcasting other shows. That's right, we're executive producing other shows and playing them on my network. You may have a fantastic show or podcast, but do you have listeners? We got listeners. Over 9,000 followers to the Doug Stewart Show on the Spreaker platform, as well as over 200,000 plus listens to the network itself. So here's what you do. Go to Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, and search the Doug Stewart Show or Stewart Media and Entertainment and get all the details. Or just hit up the producer, Tree, at TheDougStewartShow.com. That's spelled Trei. Tree at TheDougStewartShow.com, and come and do business with us on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Maybe I should do a show called True Stories from Dougie. because these are true stories, man. Uncle Donnie, a.k.a. Killer, was the real deal. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining me, man. Don't forget today, as soon as this show is done, the rebroadcast of the return of the Two Live Stews from this past weekend. A lot of stuff going on. A lot went into me being able to come back and do that show. But once again, I told y'all I was going to make it happen. A lot of y'all was betting against me. Y'all thought Ryan was going to do the show by himself. But I'm a true professional, and I know people in high places and people that can drive vehicles that can get me back and do the job. Yes, Tree.
At the very least, they thought that the people you put in place to run it would be able to run it.
Golly, Tree.
They thought they would hear your voice at 11 o'clock.
Well, I don't know about that. It's past history now. But if you continue to listen to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network today at noon, you will hear that broadcast in its entirety, all right? From Redland Kirk, Doug, if they want to change the call and give the win to Duke, they need to change the call and take the championship from Ohio State and give that championship to Miami. Exactly right. Exactly right. And listen, I'm all for getting calls right. That's why they have replay. Even though they had replay, they got the play wrong. Kind of reminiscent of what happened in that Monday night game. Was it last year? I mean, they miss calls all the time. You know what I'm saying. So you just can't do that. You can't go back after the game is called and they're leaving the field and an hour later and a day later say, we're going to give the win to the other team? Nah, this is America, Jack. It don't work like that. Damn right. Go and give Miami back their national championship that was stolen from them from that bootlegged pass interference call in 2002. From Grego. Ninja, you defend Geno, and mostly black-only athletes seem to not see beyond that, judging from your chat. That's pretty true. That's pretty true. Wait a minute. Here we go. No, and I call my man Ninja the Malcolm X of Sports Talk Radio, and he sheds light a lot of times on some discrepancies on the way athletes are treated. But that's his role. That's what he do. From Fat Boy McCoon, Matt Ryan got to go. Uncle Mike, Steve Smith University High School's finest. From RC, Curry playing out of his mind, but so is Russell Westbrook, who was my pick for this year's MVP. From that Ninja, Rapeless Burger threw 4 picks. Rodgers threw for 77. They didn't play well. From Uncle Mike, they get busters. From Uncle Mike, Steve Smith is done forever. Casey Doug, Le'Veon Bell didn't get injured during a snowstorm. Mother Nature had nothing to do with it. What exactly is he talking about? Doug, Le'Veon Bell didn't get injured. I get what you're saying. Well, see, I couldn't figure out. Because in my mind, man, Mother Nature and Father Time are married. So it's kind of like they kind of, infuse together. Like Father Time can't do nothing without Mother Nature. So I don't know. That's why I say that. I did the same thing last week. Give me a break. From Texas Ty, Steph Curry didn't need a microwave. He just touches good to hear it up. The 47 problem, shout out to my pledge, HBCU Payne College in Augusta, Georgia. From Clay Davis's sheet, advisor Curry shooting in the ocean right now. Jarvis J, that boy Steph Curry is something serious. That ninja walks around the zone. Had he been going off this past weekend? Speaking of which, man, a little NBA talk. Lakers 0-3 on the year, man. Buster Award to them. As they lose to the Mavericks last night, 103-93. Kobe Bryant can't find his way. The Hawks 3-1 on the year right now as they beat the Hornets on yesterday. Ball award to the Hawks. Miami Heat 2-1 right now. And a Buster Award to the Houston Rockets. They are 0-3. All of that talent. Runner-up for the MVP, James Harden. They're 0-3 on the year. Talk about very, very surprising. The Milwaukee Bucks, one of the sleeper teams, not really a sleeper. I think people just thought that the Bucks would do great things this year. Now it's still early. But they lose yesterday to the Raptors, 106-87. They are 0-3 on the year. So, Jason Kidd in his second year as head coach of the team, struggling a little bit right now. They are 0-3. Once again, we got, 79 more games. So there's a lot more basketball to be played. The Bulls beat the Magic 92-87. And somebody mentioned it earlier, but the Thunder 3-0 to start the season, man. They get a big win over the Nuggets. Kevin Durant, 25, 2-5. Baller award to them. Let me read more of your chat. From RC, good to see the Vikings come from behind to beat the Bears. We're only one game behind the hated Packers. Vikings, Teddy Bridgewater doing great this year in relative terms. From Clay Davis's sheet advisor, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The ACC needs Clemson to make the playoffs. I hope Clemson doesn't have a letdown where they lose a game that they're supposed to win, man. I hope they can keep it going. Just keep it going. Keep it going. Let's see what we got here. From Fat Boy McCoon, Matt Ryan got to go. Matt Ryan's not going anywhere. Matt Ryan is very highly regarded in talking about, football in the NFL. I think a lot of times more highly regarded than he should be. I'm not saying he's not a great quarterback or not a good quarterback, but he's just not a great quarterback in my mind. Very solid, very smart. Has won a lot of games for the Falcons. Probably will go down as the greatest Falcons quarterback of all time. But really struggling over the last couple of weeks. And read more of this chat here. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show before we get out of here. From Clay Davis's sheet advisor, Doug, you should have got coconut to get Shays back from Uncle Donnie. If you're a new listener, there's a long story about my boy's old man, Coconut. Maybe I'll tell you the story again down the road. From Ducking and Dodging, Uncle Donnie is the original Debo. Yeah. He's pretty much that was his persona, of kind of like Debo from Friday when I was growing up. I mean, great person, fun guy to me and my brother, but we his nephews, I don't think we can actually count as far as the rest of the city, the town where I'm from. What up, Falcons? He says, Doug got Debo by his damn uncle. Yeah, the whole story about my shades, I guess technically it was Debo'd. I was Debo'd, and for some reason I saw somebody said it in the chat, why didn't you just ask for your shades back? At the time, he had been drinking. I'd heard all these stories about him slapping people. It just never seemed a right time to ask for the shades back. And I think also, to me at the time, I remember this. At the time, it felt like if I would have asked for them shades back, that it was disrespectful. See, the problem is I don't think that he knew the cost of them. I think in his mind, he was saying, oh, these some $20 shades. I asked my nephew to hold them. It is what it is. I'm just going to leave with the shades. He my nephew. I gave him $5 his entire life every time I saw him. No big deal. But in my mind, I'm like, I kind of need them shades back. They're kind of expensive. And then I thought about it, and I said to myself, all of the money that this guy has given me in my entire life, man, I'm basically repaying him back. I'm going to set the shades out. All right, you keep them, Uncle Donnie. That's what I said to myself. Like, in my mind, it felt like if I would have been like, hey, can I get them shades back? It felt like it would have been disrespectful, even though legally they were my shades. But it just didn't feel right to ask them for the shades back. From Dobby, he says, damn, Doug, you could have just said, what up with my shades? Yeah, no, it didn't seem right. Trust me. For about 2 hours, I walked around that family reunion, walking past him, and he still didn't say anything to me. And for 2 hours, I walked around that family reunion saying, what's the best way to approach my uncle about getting these shades back? And ultimately, I just says, that's all right. Just keep them, man. If they mean that much to you, if you like them that much, you keep them. All right. And now keep in mind, this was during the time that we were living high off the hog. It was like, sugar was falling from the sky. So I had it. It was okay. It's $300 that I pissed down the drain. But it was okay. It was okay. If it was a situation right now and I had been, had something that was very expensive and I gave it back to him, I would have had to ask for them back. Uncle, I need it. I hadn't gotten a check in a couple years. I need them back. Because the worst case scenario, I could pawn them and get a couple of dollars, man, put some food on the table. But during that time, it was okay. From that ninja, these shades cost more every time Doug tells the story. Nah, these shades were like $300. Go back and listen to it. If I've told that story before, and I have told it before, Go back and find the audio at the same time. I told you them shades were very expensive, like $300. Clay Davis' sheet advisor, Uncle Donnie, the Debo of South Carolina, jacket shades and everything. Nino the Rhino, you got punked, Doug. And technically, it's not punk if they're family. I don't think. Now, if this was some stranger and asked me to hold my shades, first of all, I would have asked for them back. But if it was some stranger and kept my shades, you could have said that. But this is my uncle, so I think that supersedes the whole notion of getting punked. From Thorny Switch, Uncle Donnie got you for your shades. Laugh out loud. Y'all think that's a real funny story, huh? Nile the Rhino, get back to tree, Doug. Stop deflecting. Laugh out loud. From that ninja, Doug, $5 was a lot in the old days. Yeah. I mean, $5 back in 1979, you take $5 to school and show your friends. That's how rare you saw a $5 crisp bill back in 1979, 78. So it was a big deal. Chico the Alpha. $5 back in 79 is the equivalent to $25 a day probably, right, Tree? Wouldn't you say? Yeah, $25.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're just not holding $5.
No.
I guess I was 3 or
you know what I mean? Chico
6
sticks you
then.
can buy with $5? You know how many nominators you can buy with $5? You know how many Boston baked beans you can buy with $5 back in 78? Huh? Chico sticks for everybody, for your whole crew with $5 in 78. 1 cent cookies, ice creams, everything for the whole crew. Oh, if you didn't know either and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I got to get out of here. The next show's about to start. I've told this story before. Our grandmother was the candy lady back in our hometown. No lie. She was the candy lady. We used to go with her to the wholesale place, and she'd buy supplies, and she sold ice cream cones, cookies for 1 cent, penny candies, pickles, store-bought sodas. You know, back in our hometown, there was a Piggly Wiggly, and they had their own brand of soda. She didn't sell no damn Coca-Cola or Pepsi. She sold Piggly Wiggly brand sodas for like 50 cents for a soda, or not 50 cents, probably 25 cents back then. Piggly Wiggly grape and orange sodas back in the day.
Was that I mean, nobody, so no one was trying
Ain't
to,
no copyright on no Piggly Wiggly brand soda.
I'm saying, like, the authorities weren't trying to come up in there. Like, you had to go through the back door? Where'd she keep her stash?
Exactly. She sold it out of the back door. And if you're from my hometown, my grandmother, my mother grew up in Mitten Lane. So it's back in the cut off the main highways. So I'm sure she probably had some type of system set up where if the police was coming to raid her ass, that somebody would give her a quick call. But yeah, out of the back door. Kids came to the back door, and she sold them all the youthful, sweet delights of being a child. Strawberry soda, strawberry ice cream, and I did say scraw with a C, because that's the way the kids used to say it when I was growing up. Miss Marie, let me get a strawberry soda, let me get 5 penny cookies, and let me get a Chico stick, and she sold it all, man. So the whole hustling thing, I get it from my mama, from my grandmama, as a matter of fact. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Doug Stewart Show. Oh, thank you. Shouts out to my grandmama, rest her peace, Miss Mary Rivers. Man. All right, so coming up next is the Two Live Stews. There we go. Right music. As soon as this show is over, the Two Live Stews is coming up from this past weekend. Thank you so much for joining your boy. Shouts out to the Tree of Life. Tree, it's okay. Don't be so sensitive. Everybody loves you, Tree. Buster Award to Waterhead Walter. He didn't run the first segment of the show. You happy, Tree? You happy? Ball Award to Dwayne Vassan and Gerald Oliveri, the engineers for the show. Listen, we do need interns. Email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com if you got a young person interested in radio and want something nice to put on his resume as far as an internship. Email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. All right, tomorrow, same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Peace.